Alright, so the worldwide download celebration countdown does begin tonight, and it looks again to end with the Dragon Ball Super little teaser here. Very presumably the main units and celebration is gonna be mostly based around Future Saga, and especially the Dragon Ball Super Future Saga, right? So today I'm gonna talk about an EZA, right? That we're all very excited. You can obviously tell by the thumbnail, we're gonna be talking about Int Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. Before we go on though, I want to let y'all know, I want to make a couple of videos about upcoming EZAs and how they could potentially look with my different concepts. If you want to see, certain characters that would fit the theme, or, even like talk about, what could come with Vegeta Blue's leader skill, maybe a new Rose leader skill, let me know what you want to see, like stuff like that in the comments below. I want to make a lot of these like speculation videos because these are very fun to make, right? So, let's just continue on from there. Obviously, we have this EZA chart. So these are all the available EZAs all the way until the end of 2020. These are all the characters that have not EZA'd. They're in stone color, right? So like, like Turles, right? Right there, he's in black and white color, right? Like physical Dragon Ball Super Broly, right? Wouldn't be able to EZA here, obviously. Not that he would, but just as an example. Now, we see that there are 3 characters down here. Again, I know for sure I'll make videos on these 2. No worries about that. Maybe it'll be one video together, but we're going to talk about this. This is the 3rd oldest character that's a premium unit, as in Dokkan Fest LR, etc., that has not gone an EZA. Before him are Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Jiren. I wouldn't anticipate these guys to EZA, but this unit, I mean, this is like... to say he's confirmed to EZA basically is like an understatement. Like he's gonna EZA during the celebration. And I feel like this unit is one of the more exciting units that people have been anticipating. Rose Goku Black, Goku Black unit. Goku Black is exciting to everyone, right? People have been really excited for what this EZA could end up looking like. And we should be finally able to get it. Hopefully that's confirmed when it won't be confirmed in the celebration info, like here, like the countdown. But on the 25th, when we get the full details of the celebration, is when we should see the exact confirmation. So that, again, is very exciting for us. Now, Goku Black here. When he came out, he wasn't really that spectacular, right? He had the 50% greatly raising defense. But since he doesn't have any defense in his passive, no multiplicative defense, nothing like that, he wasn't able to really truly benefit from those defense stacks, because it's like he has like 50k defense like when he starts the fight off. So he's like stacking like 25k defense per super. Even though it's a 50% raise, it basically amounts to nothing. Transformation condition is pretty awful as well. But again, we're gonna first talk about the changes it would make that I could actually control. This right here, his leader skill is most likely gonna be just Time Traveler's 160% and 3 key. Not the worst actually. Time Traveler's the only other leader is Hearts, but you really want him with Heroes units, right? So I mean, leading this team could be interesting. I assume like if we get a new Goku Black or Zamasu, maybe one of them could lead this team though. But continuing from there, I did have a concept that I made for this Goku Black already here, and we'll talk about it right here. We'll read through it, and let's go through it. So, this is the base form version of the Goku Black, obviously. Super attack effect didn't really change much. I did add lowering attack, though. I think this guy, obviously, he's going to start off a little weak defensively. So, him being able to lower attack in, like, some of these fights, like, let's say, the Omega Shenron fight, Sin Shenron, I think Broly might be attack lowered, or he might just be stunned, right? But a lot of these fights nowadays, they've been letting us like debuff these enemies in the very first phases, of like Red Zone era, the Shadow Dragon event, right? So that is very helpful. Having attack lowering, I think it is a nice little ability for characters to have, especially for a character that builds up like this Goku Black, and it just helps the team out in general. Having the attack lower right there is pretty good. I'm actually open this in a separate tab. Now, on top of that, actually, that wasn't, okay. I did change his passive a little, right, obviously. So he used to be 40% attack at the start of each turn up to 120%. Now, that is a 3, turn stack, and you're not really able to see that, unfortunately, with this Goku Black, like the full passive, unless you're under the 80% HP, which basically do want to transform with them. So it's like you don't even see his like full passive build up, like his base form usually. But I changed it so that it basically builds up in 2 turns, right? 80% attack and defense at the start of each turn, up to 150%. So that's also adding defense here, which will really help his greatly raising defense. I mean, at this point, he's gonna get start of turn defense. There's no way he's not gonna be getting start of turn defense, right? Then, I did give him multiplicative buffs, right? Plus an additional 10% attack and defense, and then a chance to perform a critical hit plus 10% with each attack he would receive. That goes all the way up to 50%. So he has 50% multiplicative attack and defense and a 50% chance to crit, when he receives 5 attacks. Before his EZA, obviously, we saw he built up crit chance plus 5% up to 40%. So he had to take, 8 hits for that? I did really lower that. So where it's... you still have to take 5 hits, but he gets also stats and the critical chance is higher. So it's obviously still just a much better to what he has. Now this could be something where you could be like, oh, he probably won't get this, right? I gave him guaranteed guard for 4 turns for the first appearance. Now he just guards when he's building up his base from Goku Black. I personally think that does fit his character. He's kind of when he's base Goku Black fighting, especially against Goku, he's kind of remember when he's doing the boxer style, kind of like we saw with the EGO Goku Black, his super attack animation, right? Not really truly the same with this guy, but this Goku Black, he's taking attacks and he's really tanking them, and he's just coming back and delivering back damage. So I think, to me personally, it would make sense if he does have guard. At the bare minimum, for that very first turn, he should guard. Even if it's not 4 turns, for that very first turn, I think he should be able to guard, because he doesn't have his full stats. He needs to build up, right? It'd be very helpful for him. Also give him support, just because why not? Maybe the support is where he's a little bit much. Maybe you can take off the support of the guard, but I think this would be fine. I don't think this would be too much for this guy, especially since he's not really gonna be doing that much damage, right? There's actually some calculations that we could take a look here. I know that Rocket Lizard actually made the fully correct calculations here. Now, the most important change I think for this Goku Black is his transformation condition. I made it 5th turn. Now, it may very well just stay 6th turn, but I think just removing the HP restriction should be what they do. Even if it's from the 6th turn, I will be okay with that. But HP restriction on 5th turn would be, I think, ideal. I don't think they would make it anything lower than the 5th turn. I don't think they would do the 4th turn he would transform. I would assume he transforms probably from the 5th turn if they're going to change the turn condition. But I would much rather it be turn 6 than turn 5 of above 70% HP or something. That would be very awful, because it's you can't control the HP conditions, especially one that's so high. If it was HP 30% or above, I'm okay, you know what, I'll take that, it's fine. You're not very likely to fall under the 30% HP threshold, but to stay above 80% is pretty difficult still, right? I would say. So it definitely would be helpful for us to just remove that HP restriction. That is what sucks, really. But that's the base from Goku Black. Now we have Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. Now, the thing with this guy is he did give Extreme Class Ali's Key 3. He has a baseline 50% chance to crit and then 150% attack. Still greatly raises defense. Now, what I did is I gave him still 50% attack and defense raise, immense damage. I added attack here. It is still, again, a 50% attack and defense raise. Essentially, it's the same as it would be raising defense, just an extra 50% attack. The attack raise wouldn't really make that much of a difference, but it would definitely help out, because you're gonna be building this guy with full additional or additional on dodge is what I'm thinking, because he builds up crit chance anyway. So you'll have definitely an additional baseline for this guy, a pretty strong one. Now, I gave him guard all attacks for 1 turn. Just for that very first turn, he'll be able to guard. 180% attack and defense, right? So obviously the stats technically from the baseline are increased. And then a 50% chance from critical hit. He gets 50% attack and defense multiplicative for the rest of the battle after he receives an attack. So he can't dodge it. He has to receive the attack, right? But he is guarding all attacks for the very first turn, which will allow you to take this attack, build up the extra stacks, get an extra stack here, right? That'll be very helpful. I added 35% attack and defense to his 3 key support, just because why not, right? SDR Rose got extra attack, and he technically gives 3 key and 50% attack and defense to certain allies. So I'm a 35% and 3 key buff would just be very helpful for villains, and I would love for him to increase this support buff to at least 30-35%. I think I would really like that quite a lot. And then this last portion, I made it pretty restrictive, but it's a very strong effect here. I gave him the Scouter, right? Foresees enemy super attack if there's an extreme class Realm of Gods category ally that's attacking within the same turn. So again, that is again a very specific set of units where I'm like, you know, you're gonna be running up with these units, but it's like you can't put them on Power Beyond Super Saiyan or a team like that and then be able to get a Scouter effect there, or you know, maybe Power of Wishes. You can't run them like as a floater in Power of Wishes and then get a Scouter to like a situation where, okay, I see Orange Piccolo, there's no super attack, we don't use Orange Piccolo and we save it, right? Or GT Duo with the revive, I don't need to use it, right? Just because in that situation he would probably be a little too good for just an easy ATUR. But you know, again, a lot of these partners you're gonna run them with. Let's say we get a new Goku Black. Let's say, you know, we get a new Fusions of Masu. Maybe I'm thinking like the Fusions of Masu. His name can be Fusions of Masu in the giant form. I think that'd be cool. But again, like, you know, even Tech LR Goku Black and Zamasu is like decently runnable. LR Fusions of Masu is good. Like all the Goku Black and Zamasu units you'll be able to use with them. Demigra should get an easy A this year too, so I mean, maybe if they leave Realm of Gods and this guy could be a really strong support, maybe he could potentially be an interesting option on the team, right? But you know, a Zamasu, maybe a new like a Zamasu Goku unit, right? There's a lot of like Goku Black and Zamasus, and again, these guys' best linking partner will be like another Rose Goku Black or something. So that'd be helpful, especially like the LR Rose Goku Black Easy Ace. That could be really good. And again, he's continuously stacking his defense, and obviously this is where you could keep him safe. He doesn't have the guard anymore, so you could put him not where the super attack is, or maybe on the first turn, if you think his defense is enough to tank the super attack, then you could just put him where the super attack is, and then he'll be able to eat that super attack with his guard potentially, right? So that's just kind of the idea of this guy's design. He's supposed to be like, you know, a support unit that stacks defense. He can do decent damage, so this is like a well-rounded support unit, you know, especially with the Scouter. I think he'll be a very valuable asset. And that's what you have to do with these Easy A's. You don't have to make them like, you know, the hardest hitting unit, the most tankiest unit, but you do want to give them value so that you're like, okay, I could run this guy as like a floating unit on my team and he'll still be able to cook for us, right? You know, you don't really want Easy necessarily to be like an on rotation unit unless it's like a really busted easy like Blue Cow can Goku, right? But I feel like you could probably run this guy safely on rotation regardless for a stacking defense, especially because he'll have the Scouter here, right? But here are the calculations here. We could take a look here. Rainbow link level 10 untransformed Easy Goku Black at a theoretical new 200%. He would start off at 142k defense. Post super, yes, again, see his defense right here is very weak. He needs to build up a lot, which is why I added the attack, like, you know, the different, what's it called, debuffing, right? And again, he would of course have his guard ability that would help him take the attacks a little bit. Obviously he starts off pretty weak defensively because he only is getting basically 80% attack and defense start a turn with his greatly stacked. But obviously you can see once he's building up right here and he gets to pretty high amount of defense once he's fully built up here in the third turn, 717k with his full defense build up and the double super attack. Like, he builds up quite fast, right? You see his attack stats, right? Parentheses turn 3, so 0.5 hits, then to 3.4, 45. And let's say you got 3 hits on by the time you get to the third turn. He's at a 6 mil attack stat, right? Give him additional, so he'll be stacking his defense more. Technically, if you get a double super in the first turn, his defense will also be able to get a lot higher too, right? So I mean, again, maybe I did make him a little too weak in the very first turn, but he builds up quite good. And then if you take a look here at what he's doing right here, you see that this is him transformed defense, assuming that he got 3 stacks in base. Okay, that makes sense, because 3 stacks, that's assuming, okay, he got an additional super attack, I'm assuming. Start of turn right here, after getting hit, he's at 8.22 1022k. And then if you got a double super on that turn, he's 1.1 million defense. And again, his defense is just able to shoot up quite high even with the guard here. And he has a Scouter. Attack, assuming he's been hit prior, 7.9 to an 8.4 with a second super attack. And then a third super, he's at a 9 mil attack stat. So, I mean, I think overall the stats are solid. Again, maybe I could fix it to be a little higher turn 1, but I don't think it's the worst thing turn 1. Since he'll have the guard ability at the very least to help cushion a lot of these attacks. And, you know, if he's debuffing, right, he does lower attack. Maybe this could be great lowering attack, but with his debuffing, he should be relatively okay against a lot of these early boss normals that don't necessarily hit too hard for like 300, 400, 500k maybe at most. He'll be able to, like, maybe the first 2 hits will do a lot of damage, but once he starts taking more of these hits, he'll be good. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of Goku Black. Again, I will be doing more of these contests for like AGL Zamasu, you know, Tech Trunks, maybe even LR Rose Goku Black, Future Gohan even if you want to see. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next Dokkan Battle video, guys. Peace out.